If you haven't heard, it's a big day in politics. The New Hampshire primary is underway as voters arrive to cast their ballots.
It's just buzzing over there. But the other shot
give in to the dark side.
I know. The other shot we showed was very, very busy.
All right. Well, there we go. Yeah. There's some polls where people showed up before, because these places opened up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And people were waiting to get in. Not that one shot that we showed, but here. And in the Granite State, undeclared voters make up the largest voting bloc. That group has the ability to vote in either the Democratic or Republican primary today. CBS News campaign reporter Jake Rosen is joining us now from New Hampshire, hopefully with a little bit more buzz than what we just saw. Jake, what's happening?
Hey, you guys, it's primary day up here in New Hampshire. We'll have to see how it all plays out, but right now, Donald Trump looks like he has a little bit of a firm lead, but Nikki Haley hoping to convince those more moderate or also just independent voters or Republicans who are just a little disenfranchised with former President Trump back over to her side as we get in the final hours here. People are already voting, and the countdown's on.
So who are these undeclared voters? And we should specify, because we know that Donald Trump has been suggesting that people were deliberately becoming undeclared voters or going from Democrats to Republicans just to participate in this. But that's not an easy process. You don't do that at the last minute. So who are these people, and what issues are they focused on?
So it's 40% of the voting bloc up here in New Hampshire. It's about 30% Republican, 30% Democrat. These independent voters really, I think, just embrace the live free or die mindset. They choose their candidate based on personality, on character, and on things like policy issues. For in a border state, things like immigration. In a state that's had a lot of economic shifts in the last 20, 30 years, things like the economy. They really do. I've met plenty of voters who are considering Nikki Haley who voted for Joe Biden. I know a couple people who broke from Donald Trump and we're considering Chris Christie and Nikki Haley. So it really just depends on the kind of character that these candidates are presenting. But again, Donald Trump has won these voters twice, and he's looking to do so again by an even bigger margin. He called on his crowd to do that last night in Laconia.
So about 5,000 voters changed their affiliation to undeclared going into the election. 5,000 doesn't seem like a big number, but this is a game of inches. Could that be enough to shift the race?
Well, it would have to be really close. And I think that's why Donald Trump was calling on his voters to basically vote like they're down one, to have your family and friends to come out and vote, to basically make sure that everyone in your orbit gets out and vote for him to win by a margin that's significant to knock Nikki Haley down going to her home state of South Carolina. 5,000 voters might not be a lot. It's about just over 4,000 switched from Democratic to independent. But we see that every cycle in New Hampshire. It's nothing new. And despite Donald Trump's allegations that there are Democrats voting in this state's primary today, there are not. There may be Democratic-leaning people, but there are not Democrats voting in this primary.
And so speaking of the Democrats, on the Democrat side, there actually is sort of a primary. It's this kind of wacky situation where the president is actually not on the ballot, but there's a write-in campaign to put President Biden's name on the ballot. There are at least two other candidates on the ballot. But the expectation is that a lot of Democrats aren't even going to participate in this process because it's kind of a foregone conclusion. But I wonder if independent or undeclared can actually participate in either one of these primaries. Are we seeing independents who might have participated in the Democratic primary but are thinking, there's no point in it, let me go over to the Republicans?
It's all part of the grand equation here for these independent voters. Do they kind of game their vote for Nikki Haley to kind of knock down President Trump? Or do they show enthusiasm for President Biden and vote for him, or write him in, I should say, versus voting for Congressman Dean Phillips and Marianne Williamson? It's all part of this kind of grander scheme here. The grassroots organizers and the sources I've spoken to are hoping for a big turnout. Historically, an incumbent president up here in New Hampshire has won about 75, 80, 85% of the vote in the state. The Biden write-in people are hoping for that margin. Dean Phillips is hoping to knock that down to about 60%. We'll see what happens.
All right, Jake. Thank you.